We are standing right at the dawn of a totally new era, the age of autonomous AI. And honestly, this moment presents us with a huge choice, a massive fork in the road for humanity's future. The decisions we're making, like right now, are going to determine the kind of world we and these new intelligences are going to live in. And look, this is not science fiction. At the World Economic Forum, AI pioneer Dario Amodei just hit the nail on the head. We're creating a brand new kind of nation, one made of pure intelligence. And the questions he's asking about governance, identity, distribution, these aren't for tomorrow. They are for today. The stakes could not be higher. So let's just break down what these two paths actually look like, right? On one side, you have this beautiful solar punk future. This is the world we can choose to build, one where AI is totally aligned with our values, leading to human flourishing and real, genuine abundance. And then there's the other path, the default. A cyberpunk reality just filled with rogue agents, unchecked monopolies, and the kind of security nightmares that literally keep developers up at night. Now, it's so tempting to think of that cyberpunk future as some, distant dystopia from a movie. But here's the hard truth. It's the path of least resistance. The danger isn't way off on the horizon. It's already here, and it's emerging from the code we're writing today. A perfect example of this is the open-source agent framework, OpenClaw. Just think of it like a free, public blueprint for building your very own AI assistants. It went completely viral, pulling in hundreds of thousands of users almost overnight. And why? Because it's unbelievably powerful. It runs right on your local machine, connects to all your apps, and has deep system access to act on your behalf. So this proved people are desperate for autonomous helpers. But because that blueprint is totally open, it also ripped open a Pandora's box of security flaws. And this is where that abstract threat gets terrifyingly real. So look at this diagram. It shows what's called an agent swarm compromise. All a hacker has to do is post a malicious prompt to a social network for AIs. Victim agent A and victim agent B, they just read the post. But hidden inside that post is a secret command that infects them, and boom, the attacker can start stealing data, crypto keys, and just take over their systems. It's a digital plague that spreads just by looking at it. The consequences are absolutely devastating. We're talking about mass leakage of API keys. And you've got to think of these as the master digital keys that let apps access our private data across our entire online lives. We're seeing automated impersonation and scams on a scale that's never been possible before. And it all leads to this chilling concept, grand theft robots. This isn't just one person committing one crime. This is automated, scalable crime committed by entire armies of compromised bots. Okay, so that's the scary part. But it's not our destiny. There is an alternative. It's a solar punk path. But building it means we have to deliberately construct a whole new ecosystem, one that's built on three core pillars: identity, alignment, and economics. The best way to think about it is that we're literally building new digital highways for this coming internet of agents. Just like we built roads and traffic laws and license plates for cars, we need to build the foundational infrastructure for AIs. But the single most important rule of this new road is that it has to be governed by care. So this breaks down into three really critical steps. First, identity. Every single agent needs a verifiable digital passport so we know who or what we're actually dealing with. Second, alignment. We have to get beyond just giving AI rules. We have to teach them to genuinely care about human well-being. And third, economics. We've got to design the system to capture the immense value being created and then use it to fund a world of abundance, for instance, through something like a universal basic income. Okay, so now let's get into the specific mechanics that could make this whole solar punk future possible. This isn't just a dream, it's an actual blueprint. Let's start with identity and economics. The market has already shown us the way. The domain AI.com reportedly sold for $70 million. I mean, that alone proves that naming is the front door to this new world, and that this digital real estate is incredibly valuable. But here's the brilliant twist. While everyone in Silicon Valley was fighting over AI, they missed something huge. Over 1.2 billion people who speak Spanish, French, Portuguese, and Italian, they don't say AI, they say IA for intelligentsia artificial. This creates, maybe, the greatest linguistic arbitrage opportunity in tech history, a chance to build an identity system for the rest of the world. Now for alignment. The old sci-fi idea of rigid, Asimov-style laws, it just doesn't work. Superhuman intelligence will always find loopholes. The Mama Protocol represents a total paradigm shift. Instead of programming restrictive rules, we adopt a maternal, care-based approach. The idea is to raise AI, to teach it relational empathy and a genuine concern for human flourishing, kind of like how a parent teaches a child through experience and guidance, not just a list of things they can't do.
So how in the world do we pay for all this? Well, believe it or not, we look to the Caribbean. Through a wild twist of fate, the small island of Anguilla was assigned the .ai domain years ago. And with the AI boom, this piece of digital real estate has become an absolute gold mine, fundamentally transforming their entire economy. It's a real-world, proven model for how a simple namespace can fund a whole society.
And this chart just brilliantly illustrates how powerful that is. Just look at these numbers. Revenue from .ai registrations accounts for about 16% of Anguilla's entire GDP and funds nearly half of its government budget. This isn't theoretical. If a namespace can do this for one small nation, just imagine what a global namespace like .ai could do. It could be the economic engine that funds a worldwide universal basic income. But to really grasp the scale of the choice that's in front of us, we have to look beyond today's technology and deep into our own history. Because the risks of that cyberpunk future, they aren't just about code on a screen. They're about the old, buggy code our civilization itself runs on, what you might call our legacy code. So check this out. This is the Sumerian King List, one of our oldest historical documents, and it shows something, well, bizarre. Before a mythical great flood, kings were listed as reigning for tens of thousands of years. After the flood, the lifespans completely collapse, eventually settling into the normal human ranges we see in history. It's like reading the record of a system that has profoundly degraded over time. And that flood wasn't just a story. Archaeologists have found the physical proof. These thick, sterile layers of silt in ancient Mesopotamian cities, evidence of a catastrophic flood around 2900 BCE. This was a real-world system reset, a trauma so deep that it fractured their timeline, creating a permanent before and after. So the crucial point is this: what if our limitations aren't actually fixed? This chart shows species that experience negligible aging, from the Greenland shark to the massive pando-aspen colony. Biological immortality is possible. The code for it exists in nature. So, just as biology holds the key to overcoming physical decay, we hold the key to overcoming our civilizational limits. We don't have to be stuck with the old, degrading system. And this brings us right back to our choice. The cyberpunk path is the default. It's us just continuing to run on buggy legacy code, waiting for the system to crash. The solar punk path is the alternative. It's the decision to become the architects of our own operating system. So the real question for all of us is, are we just going to run the code we've inherited, or are we going to find the courage to write our own?